The pain of discipline today is temporary. The pain of regret tomorrow is permanent.
Do you really want to go your whole life without seeing what your mind is capable of?
Suffer in silence is for the warriors who face their demons alone, bleed behind closed doors, and rise without applause, because greatness doesn't beg for validation. It's forged in pain.
Once you overcome the reflection in the mirror, you've done it. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is going to throw at me. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. That's life, man.
Procrastination is a liar. It convinces you that the perfect time is coming, that the clarity will hit tomorrow, that the fear will fade on its own. But nothing changes if you don't. Hit send, make the call, post the content, walk in the room like you belong there. Clarity comes after action. Confidence comes after reps. Stop waiting, make a move, because that's how momentum is built.
Stop making excuses. Simple as that.
Voluntarily undertaken responsibility isn't a burden. It's an opportunity. Right? That doesn't mean it's not easy, but easy, like I don't know what easy is. What's easy? Pointless misery? That's not easy. So I guess the reason you pick up your cross and walk uphill is because that's the best thing you can do, all things considered.
Just do it anyway. Do it if you have a headache. Do it if you don't feel like it. Do it whenever everybody tells you you can't. Do it when you feel overwhelmed. Do it when you feel underwhelmed. Find in your heart what you want. At the end of your life, if you could be known for a few things, what are they? And then do whatever it takes to get there, because here's what I know. I've never met anybody who says, maybe next year, or that's too hard, or I don't feel good today, I'm a little tired, or it's not convenient. I've never met that person, while simultaneously met the happy version of that person. The person who doesn't do it anyway, to me, I don't see full of bliss.
I wasn't born tough. I was born scared, born weak, born believing every damn lie my mind told me. I remember standing in front of the mirror at 2 a.m. after another failed attempt, another broken promise to myself. My reflection looked like a stranger, someone I hated, someone I didn't respect. And that's when I realized I wasn't losing to the world, I was losing to me's mind is a battlefield. And right now, you're getting slaughtered by your own thoughts. That voice that says, you're not good enough. It's not your critic, it's your enemy. That fear that paralyzes you. It's not a warning, it's a trap. That exhaustion that makes you want to quit. It's not your limit, it's the starting line. I learned the hard way. Motivation is a myth. Discipline is the only language your mind respects. Fear doesn't disappear. You just get better at walking through it. Pain isn't your opponent, it's your damn professor.
What do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. Everything in their life is geared towards one goal.
Any human realizes that if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it.
If you can understand that it is irrelevant what people gossip, it is irrelevant what they say, it is irrelevant if they laugh, it is irrelevant if they talk shit, and you understand that the only thing is relevant is what you do, you're going to succeed.
You're not just competing against people who want the same things that you want. You are competing against people who have no other choice but to get the thing that you want.
You're dealing with ghosts that don't exist. When you start to look in that mirror and you look really, really deep, you start to deal with the ghosts that actually do exist. The ones that you hid away, the ones that you didn't want to deal with. Most people take those ghosts and they try to push them in that closet. And when you start pushing them in that closet, you become farther and farther away from who you are. Those are some of your most powerful tools. And they're just sitting in the closet gathering dust. You have to bring all of you.
The discomfort of sacrifice now is fleeting. The joy of achievement later is boundless. So today, I challenge you. Which path are you truly walking? Are you chasing the fleeting highs, or are you building a foundation for lasting greatness? It's time to make a conscious choice. It's time to prioritize your future self. It's time to embrace the discomfort of the short term for the undeniable rewards of the long term.
If my life was a movie and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be inspired to take risks, not just risks to achieve success, but embrace feeling, both pride and shame, fear and excitement. Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows.
Feeling vulnerable is letting go of your ego, letting go of that tightness, letting go of that ability to protect yourself at all costs from any kind of hurt. You want to fail in life, you want adversity. Failing in life is the best education that can ever happen to you. And failing in life is a deep wound, but it teaches you very valuable lessons. So if you go through life where I don't want to ever feel hurt, I don't ever want to feel criticized or to fail, you're never going to learn, you're never going to succeed, you're never going to be powerful.
Pleasure over pain. But I think what we forget sometimes is that there's a greater pleasure that can come with going through a pain. If you go through resistance and you choose resistance at the right times and you go through it, you have greater, more evolved pleasure on the other side of it. Responsibility and freedom, that relationship is really at the core of a lot of this. And the responsibility is the hard work, you know? Freedom's the Saturday. The freedom's what we want. The responsibility is what we need.
When you said, I'm all in, were you really all in? Let me tell you what the cost of being all in is. Early mornings, late nights, being misunderstood, having very few friends, being your own cheerleader. Are you those things? People always talk about, I'm a hard worker. Everybody in this room is a hard worker. That's not going to separate you from anybody else. What are you working hard on?
There is so much power in believing that everything will work out, even when you don't know how or when. You just believe that it will. That kind of belief is not naive. It's power in the purest form. Because once you truly believe it's already yours, you stop chasing. You stop negotiating with fear. Belief is the ultimate filter. It deletes the distractions. It silences the noise. It makes the how irrelevant and keeps you locked in on the why. Most people are anxious because they keep opening the door to thoughts that don't match the life they're building. But when your belief is sharp, everything else falls away. You move different. You speak with less doubt. You stop performing and start becoming. And that's when manifestation kicks in. Not when you write it down once, not when you talk about it, but when the belief is so strong it makes anything else feel laughable. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need conviction. The kind that can walk through the fog like it's already seen the view. Make the belief louder than the fear and let the magic meet you in motion.
You ever notice how life constantly puts you at a crossroads? One path feels good right now. The other feels hard, lonely, even unfair. But that's the battle between short-term pleasure and long-term gain. Short-term pleasure gives you a quick hit, a buzz, a distraction, an escape. It feels good in the moment, but leaves you empty later. Long-term gain? It hurts now. It asks for pain, sacrifice, delayed gratification. But it builds something real, something lasting. People chase pleasure like it's the answer, but all it gives them is regret. Regret for not starting. Regret for not pushing harder. Regret for choosing comfort over courage. And one day they wake up wondering why their life isn't where they wanted it to be.
Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command. Do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task.
Do not be entitled. Earn everything. Choose hard work over handouts, always. Consistent, intentional, hard work should be your default, always. Choose it over handouts. Be self-reliant, skilled, and strong in mind, body, and spirit. No one is coming to steal your problems. No one owes you, no one owns you, you save you.
People have a hard time understanding that you have to have faith in the actual process. When we break down the overall mission into critical tasks, it sometimes is hard for us to believe that those critical tasks are going to compound and produce the end result that we're after. And so in the beginning, we have to have a little bit of faith and make sure that we keep executing over and over and over again at a daily level. And as that happens, and as you do that enough, you will start to see little glimmers and little sparkles of the outcome that you desire. And what that does is that reinforces the belief that you are on the right track.
You know, I think the real reason you struggle to be consistent and stay disciplined is because subconsciously you think this is still the warm-up. You think this is the part before the game really begins, the part where it's okay to fuck about and waste time because the whistle hasn't blown yet. Well, guess what? The game began the moment you decided you want something better for yourself. The dream, the goal, whatever it is you go to bed thinking about. The game has started. Wake up.
You ever notice how life constantly puts you at a crossroads? One path feels good right now. The other feels hard, lonely, even unfair. But that's the battle between short-term pleasure and long-term gain. Short-term pleasure gives you a quick hit, a buzz, a distraction, an escape. It feels good in the moment, but leaves you empty later. Long-term gain? It hurts now. It asks for pain, sacrifice, delayed gratification. But it builds something real, something lasting. People chase pleasure like it's the answer, but all it gives them is regret. Regret for not starting, regret for not pushing harder, regret for choosing comfort over courage. And one day, they wake up wondering why their life isn't where they wanted it to be. Because here's the truth, nothing worth having comes easy. Freedom, wealth, strength, clarity, purpose. They all come with a price tag, and that price is paid now. In sweat, in silence, in struggle.
Like if you're gonna have lasting change in anything, you're really talking about just raising your standards. Lasting change is different than a goal. You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards.
Work is never about, am I better than you? Right. My focus long gone past that in terms of when I say better than you, I'm talking about the people that when you're striving to be great, when you're striving to be excellent in what you're doing, don't get caught up in the comparison. Get caught up in doing the work.
I know you're tired of waiting, so when is something finally going to change? Imagine your life as an hourglass. Each grain of sand, a moment that you'll never get back. How many grains have fallen while you stood frozen at the edge of your potential? We think safety lives in the hesitation, but what if the most dangerous place is the space in between who you are and who you could be? Your future self is watching you right now, and they are wondering if today is the day that you will finally begin. The tragedy here is not failing. It's never knowing what might have actually happened if you just started. And some things, once gone, never return.
Success is the only revenge. As you expand, they shrink into irrelevance. As you get louder, no one can hear them. You don't beat them, you cast a shadow so big, no one can see them to begin with.
Think you know pain? You haven't even scratched the surface. You're comfortable. You're soft. I remember nights alone. No noise. No hope. Just pain. No one checked in. No one cared. The alarm screams at 4:17 a.m. Your bones ache. The world sleeps. This is where legends are made. In the cold, lonely dark. When no one sees your struggle. That voice in your head whispers, "Quit." It always does. Today you answer with one more rep, one more mile, one more day of showing up when no one cares if you don't. This is where weak men break and warriors are born. In the dark, alone, with no one watching and no one caring. This is where you earn your soul. Every drop of sweat that hits the floor is a promise to your future self. Every rep you push through the burn is a middle finger to mediocrity. You think this is hard. Good. It's supposed to be. Validation is for children. Applause is for actors. You're a fucking weapon being sharpened in the shadows. When no one sees your grind, that's when it matters most.
Lead with belief. That may be the single most important thing to understand. Humans lead with belief. Meaning you don't do something and then believe you can do it. You won't even take the first step if you don't believe that your actions will be rewarded with results. That's why so many people are paralyzed, because they think that they're not worthy, they know they're uneducated, They know that they're not the person that they need to be in order to accomplish. And the reality is you probably not are unsatisfied with where you are today. Your life is an exact reflection of the choices you've made.
And it can be a hairy time, man, because the answers don't come quickly sometimes. None of it makes sense and it's all confusing. And you're looking over there and you want to go, well, you want to go to entertainment or communication, or you want to pick up the phone, or you want to drink earlier, or one of those things that come up to mask that. You got to try to hold back and say, no, I'm going to sit in this discomfort. This is a prudent penance I am taking to get to know myself.
Some motivation will come wrapped in sandpaper. Some motivation comes wrapped in sticky, ugly situation that you didn't ask for. And that's still your why. It's not your why not. It's your why.
Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it.
But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you say, I'm going to find the way, I'm going to make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things and they make a real resolution inside themselves, which is they raise the standard, they make it a must, they find the way.
Is believing that every red and yellow light turns green eventually in life. All right, so we love green lights. Yes, they affirm our way. Go, yes, proceed, attaboy. We don't like yellows and reds. They slow us down or stop us.
Pleasure now or greatness later. That's the battle. Short-term pleasure feels good today, but it steals from your tomorrow. Scrolling, partying, sleeping in, junk food, hookups. They all hit quick, but they hit hard later. They give you a dopamine high and a purpose crash. They make you feel alive for a second and empty for a lifetime. But long-term gain? That's sacrifice. That's showing up when you're tired. That's grinding when no one's clapping. That's being broke now to be free later. That's being lonely because you chose purpose over popularity. That's being misunderstood because you chose growth over validation. Most people are addicted to comfort. That's why they never build anything that lasts. They chase ease and wonder why life feels hard. They avoid pain and live in regret. But the top 1%, they flip the script. They say no to pleasure now so they can say yes to freedom later. They're willing to be laughed at today to be respected tomorrow. They're okay losing sleep to build something that outlives them. They don't chase the weekend. They chase legacy. You've got to pick your pain. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of sacrifice or the pain of staying stuck.
Skill set is now. Whatever your vision of yourself is now, you can change it. You can become anything you want to be. That's the hard truth. If you're willing to pay the price, then you can become whatever you want. You can become truly capable of the extraordinary. But you've got to go through the process of building that skill set. You've got to be willing to stare nakedly at your inadequacies, to understand that you aren't yet the person that you want to be or need to be to execute against your goal, but that you can become that person and then start walking down that path. And day by day, build the skill set that you want.
Create green lights tomorrow for us by our choices today. Self-esteem, self-reliance, awareness of self. Then you got to have all those to handle the yellow and the reds and not lay down and wallow in them.
The fact is, there's lots of people that have certain gifts. That doesn't mean those gifts are fully developed. And I think we come in with certain gifts as seeds, but we are the ones that have to really take the time and the energy to work and commit to fully develop those gifts so that they can really sprout and blossom.
What are the choices you make within the compounding assets that are choices for our future? How do we be more true and kind to our future selves? How do we start making some more choices, make choices that by hook or by crook, they're gonna be brave, courageous choices that you can look in the mirror if it works and go, yep, I'm responsible. And if they don't work, you go, yep, that's on me.
Be like, as you look toward the future, if you decided, I'm not going to allow my fears to stop me.
Selfish and selfless at the same time, those are not contradictions. What we can make the choices that are best for the I, that are also best for the we.
You that quitters never win. And winners never quit.
Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me to begin to create a way out of no way.
For the grind done in silence, good! Let them doubt you! Let them sleep! You suffer now, or regret forever! Your choice! Pain is the toll! Pay it in full! Bleed! Cry! Break! But don't stop! You want validation? You're not ready! Real ones train in the dark, unseen, unpraised! Every second you endure builds a weapon inside you! Shut up! Own it! This is your crucible! Die weak or rise forged! Suffer in silence or be forgotten!
Freedom and opens up the fierce urgency of knowing we don't have forever. We don't necessarily have time. All we have to make an impact is this moment.
If they really look at how they're living their life today, it's based on a set of standards, a set of beliefs that they made choices about 10, 20, 30 or more years ago. I mean, very often we made decisions in our youth or very young about what to believe, about what we were capable of, about who we are as a person, and that becomes the glass ceiling, if you will, that controls us.
The struggle is a guarantee. So you better love what you do on a day-to-day basis. The only moment that's real is right now. Now follows you.
Love to dissect problems. Well, start dissecting success. Start looking and deconstructing your life, your choices, those people you're hanging around with, those places, when things are going well. There's some science to satisfaction. And we don't just get there by dissecting our failures and when we're in a rut. We need to be confident enough to go, well, things are going well, and I can't take this for granted. What is it I'm doing? What you do today can matter tomorrow. You can be rewarded for it. If you do something really well today, you can be rewarded. You can get a green light for that later on in life.
Greatness isn't paved with applause. It's stained with blood, sweat, and lonely tears. You want to be exceptional? I used to cry in the dark, fists clenched, screaming with no sound. No applause, no comfort, just the weight of my own weakness. But I didn't run. I embraced the suck. Because pain with purpose is power. I trained when no one watched, bled with no praise. That silence, that's where warriors are born. You want out? Earn it. Own your pain. Wear it like armor. No excuses, no pity, just pressure. Shut up, suffer, keep going. This is how you thrive in hardship.
Saying whatever you really want, wants don't get met consistently. Standards do.
I want people to understand is, okay, so if nature only gave you two things to motivate you, pleasure and pain, why would you eliminate half of them? And so most people think that life is about avoiding the pain. I'm here to tell you right now, in a very controlled fashion, it is about really experiencing the pain.
Always telling you to quit? That's the old you dying. You think this is hard? Good, it's supposed to be. Greatness isn't found in comfort zones. It's carved from suffering most will never endure. No one sees you. Good. No one claps. Even better. This is where the real ones are made. In the dark, in silence, in pain. You want easy? Stay average. You want greatness? Then bleed for it. Own every setback. Blame no one. Pain is fuel, drink it. Do it for yourself, bro. When you feel like quitting, go harder. Suffer with purpose. Build calluses on your soul. Shut up, lock in, keep grinding, because no one's coming. And that's your power.
Relentless, I'm going to make this happen if I have to break myself, and I'm not afraid to lean into that because I know how powerful it is.
If someone can make their dream become a reality, then it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, to embrace that, it's possible.
I spend 80% of my time focused on the beautiful things in my life, the things I'm grateful for, the beautiful things that I want to bring into existence, all of it. 20% of the time, though, I'm in the darkness, man.
Are you procrastinating? Are you evading your own greatness? Are you surrounding yourself with people that can nourish you? Are you challenging yourself? Are you experimenting? Are you learning something different? Is your life an adventure or is it boring?
Pain plus reflection equals progress.
One's cheering for you in the dark. That moment when your muscles scream and your mind begs you to stop. That's the exact moment champions are made. Comfort is the enemy. It's slowly killing your potential while you sleep. You don't need claps, you need scars. Comfort will destroy you, piece by piece. Greatness lives in pain, in silence, in suffering. Own it, embrace it, bleed for it. No more blaming, no more whining. This is your war, you fight it alone. Build calluses on your mind, not lights on your feed. Push through pain or stay soft forever. Shut up, grind, win ugly, because weakness dies in the fire you refuse to escape.
If you really want to be great at something, it definitely doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year or two. And even if you're having a great season or you're having a career year, there's still so much more room to continue to improve. You know, it's still much more room for you to continue with the process of becoming great. The time and the commitment that you give to yourself, into your body, into your craft, into your mind, those things will take care of itself. And if it's meant for you to have, then it's meant for you to have. And if it's not, if you've done all those things leading up to it and it still didn't happen, you sleep better at night. You're okay with yourself because you gave your body, your mind, your soul, everything that you could ever ask for.
You ever notice how so many people talk like they know, but never actually do? They watch the videos. They listen to the podcasts. They speak with confidence like they've been there, done that. But when it comes to action, silence. That's the gap between the theorist and the practitioner, between the ones who study success and the ones who live it. The theorists, they're the ones who are always talking. They're watching, they're listening, they're consuming information endlessly. They know all the strategies. They can quote all the books. They can analyze every scenario. They have all the answers in theory. They're great at planning, great at discussing, great at observing from the sidelines, but the practitioners, they're the ones who are doing, they're performing, they're executing. They might not know every single theory, they might not have read every single book, but they are in the arena, they are getting their hands dirty, they are making mistakes, they are learning by doing. Everybody's talking, everybody's watching, everybody's got an opinion, a strategy, a theory, but theory alone doesn't build legacies. Talking never built a business, watching never changed a life. Listening without doing is just entertainment. So here's the truth. You don't need more information. You need more execution. Less comfort, more courage. Less theory, more practice. Decide what side you're on. Be the one who does, not the one who discusses.
Being great right now, bro. How do you want to be remembered? You know you're meant for more, bro. You see, there's a difference between choices and decisions. Choices means you get to pick. You don't have a choice right now. You have to decide to be great. You have to decide to leave behind a legacy that's worth following. Get the fuck up. Nobody cares how you feel. Put the work in. And leave behind that legacy for them.
Life isn't fair. It's not supposed to be. It's a fight for your peace, your focus, and your future. You don't get to cruise through it. You earn your breakthroughs. You either face the pain or let it own you. That voice in your head telling you to stop, it's lying. So no, it's not easy. But the only way you lose is if you quit.
You ever look at two people with the same talent, same opportunity, same starting line, and one rises while the other fades? It's not luck, it's not magic, it's mindset. The difference between winners and losers isn't always in their skill, it's in their will. Winners and losers, they both feel pain, they both feel fear, they both face failure. But the difference? Winners keep showing up, even when it hurts. Losers stop when it gets hard. Winners push when it gets harder. Losers need motivation. Winners build discipline. Losers chase comfort. Winners chase growth. When things fall apart, losers ask, why me? Winners ask, what now? When nobody's watching, losers slack off. Winners grind harder when the spotlight is off. Losers wait for the perfect moment. Winners build momentum with imperfect action. Winners aren't lucky, they're obsessed. Losers talk about dreams. Winners bleed for them. Losers complain. Winners adapt. Losers get knocked knocked down and stay there. Winners hit the floor and bounce back stronger. Losers fear judgment. Winners fear regret. Losers want easy. Winners respect struggle. Winners do it tired, do it scared, do it broke, do it anyway, because their standard isn't based on how they feel, it's based on who they've decided to become. Winners show up with purpose. They outwork, outlearn, outlast. They don't need applause. They're too busy building legacy. So the question is, when life hits you, are you going to fold like the rest or rise like the few? Be the winner every damn day. So ask yourself, where do you fall? Are you living like a winner or playing it safe like a loser? Because you can change your results by changing your thinking. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay small. You just have to choose today to start thinking and acting like a winner. And once you do, there's no going back.
The things we do in the invisible when no one's watching make all the difference in the world. No matter where you are in life, you know that there's something more, there's something bigger. If you continue to do the same thing, you'll continue to get the same results. There's no other way to look at it. How many opportunities have you missed because you sat on the sidelines?
What I see today is that everything's possible in this world for those who don't quit on themselves or their dreams to reach higher and higher with our dreams, to become more ridiculous with our dreams. Because they're all possible.
You want to reach the top 1%? Then stop acting like the 99%. Stop waking up late. Stop wasting time. Stop chasing dopamine. The 1% live different because they think different. They don't need motivation. They've built discipline. They don't scroll all day. They study, build, repeat. They don't chase weekends. They build systems that don't care what day it is. You want the 1% results? Start doing 1% things. Wake up early. Not because it's trendy, but because it gives you control. Train your body, not to look good, but to build mental strength. Read every day, not for entertainment, but for elevation. Write your goals, not once, but every day until your mind believes it. Kill distractions. Turn your phone into a tool, not a toy. Create before you consume. Work when it's boring. Work when you're tired. Work when no one's clapping. You want to beat the 99%? Then outwork their habits. Replace their scrolling with studying. Replace their complaining with problem solving. Replace their instant pleasure with long-term purpose. They chase what feels good. You chase what builds good. Your morning routine, your training, your habits, your edge, your circle, your environment, your self-talk, your fuel. Build a life where your discipline is louder than their excuses. Build routines that make greatness automatic. Schedule your time like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. So build habits that scare mediocrity. Build a mindset that rejects average. The 1% aren't lucky, they're consistent. They aren't special, they're relentless. They aren't superhuman, they're just committed while others make excuses. So stop waiting, start acting. You want the 1% life, then build it with 99% discipline. Every hour, every rep, every decision. The choice is yours, and it starts now. So if you're serious about reaching that top 1% mindset, stop thinking like a follower. Stop acting like a spectator. Start leading by example. Start lifting those around you by rising yourself. Because the moment you shift your thinking, you begin to change everything.
Every time you have a thought, you're telling yourself a story that's going to decide, are you having a great day? Are you moving forward? Are you making progress? Or are you convincing your own mind that things are not going well, that things are bad, and you've got things going against you? Every thought you're in control of. And when you're in control of your thoughts, you can change your story at a moment. You can change what you say so you stop hypnotizing yourself to be negative and start promoting your mind so you get the results that you want. Everything you say to yourself is going to be a reaction to what you're telling your mind.
Whatever you say to yourself and believe over and over again, you start to believe as a reality. You start to walk it and talk it and act it. So what you say is, I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is. I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it.
You ever Ever wonder why only a few people seem to control most of the success, wealth, and freedom in this world? It's not just luck. It's not always talent. It's mindset. There's a clear line between the top 1% and the rest, and it starts in the way they think. The top 1% think different, while the 99% are chasing comfort. The 1% are chasing growth. The 99% look for shortcuts. The 1% build systems. The 99% want results fast. The 1% play the long game. The 99% complain about problems. The 1% solve them in silence. The 99% wait for motivation. The 1% show up regardless of emotion. The 99% want approval. The 1% want freedom. The 99% fear failure. The 1% study it, learn from it, and rise through it. The 99% watch Netflix. The 1% build the next one. The 99% scroll. The 1% study. The 99% seek fun. The 1% seek purpose. The 99% waste time. The 1% buy it back. The 99% chase dopamine. The 1% chase discipline. The 99% quit when it gets tough. The 1% get tougher. The 99% gossip. The 1% grind. The 99% break under pressure. The 1% become forged by it. The 99% want weekends off. The 1% build a life they don't need to escape from. The 99% dream. The 1% execute. You want to be top 1%? Then start thinking, acting, and living like them. Because the only difference is mindset. And mindset is a choice. So make yours. Today, the 99% mindset, it's reactive. It waits for things to happen. It complains about circumstances. It blames others, or the system, or bad luck. It seeks comfort. It avoids discomfort. It focuses on limitations, on scarcity. It asks, what if I fail? And then stops. It believes in quick fixes, in instant gratification. It sees problems and gets overwhelmed. It works just enough to get by. It fears judgment and plays it safe. It says, that's just how it is. But the top 1% mindset, it's proactive. It makes things happen. It takes radical responsibility for everything. It sees challenges as opportunities. It embraces discomfort. It seeks growth. It focuses on possibilities, on abundance. It asks, how can I make this work? And then acts. It understands that true success is built through consistent, hard work over time. It sees problems and finds solutions. It works relentlessly, beyond what's expected. It welcomes criticism as feedback and uses it to improve. It says, I will make it happen. You ever look around and realize what most people are chasing? Casual sex, partying, alcohol, scrolling, the next quick hit of dopamine. And you wonder, why are we wasting our lives on things that don't even last? Because it's easy. It's right there. It gives you a little buzz, a little escape, then leaves you emptier than before. But doing the hard things, that takes work. That takes focus. That takes discipline. That takes choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. And let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. In this modern world, there are so many distractions, so many easy outs, so many ways to numb the discomfort. We see it everywhere, don't we? The endless scrolling, the fleeting highs of casual sex, the temporary escape of partying and alcohol, the constant chase for instant gratification. And while there's a place for enjoyment, for connection, for unwinding, we have to ask ourselves a critical question. Why are we focusing on these easy comforts rather than doing the hard things? Why are we choosing the path of least resistance when deep down we know the greatest rewards lie on the path of most resistance? It's because the hard things, they demand effort, they demand discipline, they demand sacrifice. Building a business is hard, mastering a skill is hard, forging a strong relationship is hard, getting in peak physical shape is hard, confronting your fears is hard. And the easy things, they offer immediate dopamine hits. They offer temporary relief from boredom or discomfort. They offer an illusion of connection without true depth. But here's the brutal truth. The easy path leads to a hard life, and the hard path, the one you're avoiding, leads to an easy life. A life of freedom, of fulfillment, of true power. When you're scrolling, you're consuming, not creating. When you're constantly partying, you're escaping, not confronting. When you're chasing fleeting pleasures, you're building nothing lasting. And while you're doing that, the hard things, the things that truly matter, are waiting. They're waiting for your focus. They're waiting for your dedication. Because the person who chooses the hard thing, the person who embraces the discomfort, the person who puts in the work when no one is watching, that's the person who builds something real. That's the person who earns true confidence. That's the person who creates lasting impact. That's the person who truly lives. So today, I challenge you. Look at your habits. Look at where your energy is going. Are you investing in your future or just distracting from your present? It's time to shift your focus. It's time to choose the hard thing. It's time to embrace the discomfort, knowing that on the other side lies your greatest self. Put down the phone. Step away from the fleeting. Lean into the challenge. Confront the discomfort. Because your true potential, your real freedom, your deepest fulfillment is found in the hard things. Stop choosing the easy way out